What's the most complicated way you've seen someone solve an easy problem? I watched and tried to help a coworker search for their missing scans folder for half an hour. Finally came out that he received an email containing a PDF, and that he wanted to send it to another coworker, and his usual process for this was to print the PDF, scan the physical copy onto his scans folder, and then attach that file to an email. Taught him how to forward an email that day. Still not sure where his scans folder got off to though. At one job that I had, one department would print thousands of pages every month from a PDF and go up 4 floors to deliver. The receiving team would scan them into the computer to upload to another team, who would process them, print them back up and bring back to the second team, who would reconcile them to the first printed batches and then recycle them. I eliminated the printing and scanning. Everyone thought I was insane. I work for a state government office. If we receive a question from the public on a sensitive issue, like COVID-19, even if we know the answer and it's publicly available, the process is to assign the question to a subject matter expert and route the response through 9 levels of review all the way to the governor's press office. This can mean a yes or no question takes 2 to 3 weeks to address. People email me thinking it's quicker to ask someone when in reality they could have spent 10 minutes searching the internet and found the info much more efficiently. The procedure is meant to prevent disinformation and limit liability. But when we have to do it for most questions, it's a bit ridiculous. The worst part is that often someone in the review process has edits which require the response to be routed backwards and sent through the process again. TLDR. See civil service. All of it. I approve of this process. Helps keep those of us who understand how to use Google one step ahead of everyone else. How else can I appear so smart if I can't come up with an answer 2000x faster than the government? And surprise, your searches are based on your previous searches and posting history, so you just reinforced any ideas you already had and didn't actually learn anything accurate. My roommate removing T-posts from a hard driveway. We have a T-post remover. However, he used it backwards once and claimed it was broken. Watched him pickaxe a hole 3 feet wide and deep in bedrock over about 2 days, to finally pull one post out by hand. He went to work, so I removed the remaining dozen or so over an hour with a T-post puller he still claims is broken. He still thinks I rented a jackhammer and lied about it. It has been the downfall of our friendship since he lost all trust in me but refuses to watch me use the device so he can learn how. My boss at the time let a big sale get to his head, so without warning one day he told me he was going to rearrange how I had organized scheduled maintenance. This involved him driving for hours all over the state to map out better efficiency for our accounts. I had planned that territory for our company for 3 years and knew every single vendor and client on a first-name basis, so all I said was, "Sure thing, boss." I had my guys do the routing his way for 2 weeks. We lost 80% of sales. He called me hysterical asking me how to fix it, and I said, "Let's go back to the way it was." Suddenly we were profiting again. Funny how that works, haha. My French teacher copied a Word document to a USB stick by opening the document from the File Explorer, waiting for Word to open and then hitting Save As and selecting the USB stick. She was fairly young too. How does someone get through college in the 21st century without learning how to copy and paste a file? There was a sweet spot for growing up understanding tech. Too young, or too uninvolved, and tech just becomes a day-to-day magic that you manipulate via rituals and rites. Probably was a brain fart. I once started to do the same, but instead I did Ctrl+A and copied it. Then I realized what I was doing and did it the proper way. Just because someone is young and uses technology a lot does not mean they're good at it. It is amazing how tech-illiterate college students can be. Easy, just go into any computer science lecture in a university. The flashbacks. All that mathematical notation to describe a simple sorting algorithm that can easily be explained in 10 lines of Python. Insertion sort. Let's find a way to implement it that takes 2 people a week and runs in O(n)(5). Oh, and you have to do it in Lisp. We're teaching the fundamentals here. A coworker bought lunch and it came with a can of Coke. He complained the can was warm, so they gave him a cup with ice in it. He then tried to jam the ice cubes into the can. *edit spelling. Wow, I must be high. Couldn't think of what else he could have done other than shove the can into the cup with ice. Like you would a cooler. But who's got time for that to actually cool it? Now I realize he could have poured a cup. Guess that explains his behavior as well. This is best illustrated with a story. One time I was watching something on TV, and my mom was going to join me. After a few minutes she hadn't shown up, so I went to investigate and found her in the kitchen using her laptop. I asked what was taking so long, and she told me she was deleting a bunch of files and she would be a while. I looked at the screen to find her in a folder with hundreds of individual files, manually right-clicking each and deleting them. When I asked why she didn't just press Ctrl-A to select all, then delete as a batch, she thought I was kidding and that no such function existed. She was amazed when I showed her it could be done that way. Now this doesn't sound too bad, but consider this. My mom has used computers for a long time. She first programmed some using punch cards. Then later on she was fluent in MS-DOS and used it until Windows came out. If you put her in front of AC prompt and give her a few minutes, she'll figure out how to get things done just fine. If you give her a beautiful Windows GUI, she struggles like you wouldn't believe. My parents tricked me into weighing things strangely. For example, you need 50 grams of sugar? No problem, monsieur, just put the entire package of sugar on the scale and measure the starting weight. While taking sugar out, calculate in your head the difference between starting weight and current weight. Since that result gives you the exact amount of sugar you have already taken out. Was always pretty good with numbers, to be honest, so I guess their trick worked. Made me chuckle. Lol. Why wouldn't they just put a dish on the scale, tare it, and then weigh the sugar by adding it? Oh, they would. They just didn't tell me. Because I was lazy when it came to school, math and doing calculations. So they wanted me to train subtracting numbers in my head. I was like 6/7 of a year old? Elementary school. This little maneuver's gonna cost us 51 years. She didn't exactly solve it. At an organization I worked for, there was a boomer lady who worked in accounts payable. I needed her to write an email to a vendor. They requested someone from our finance department confirm using the balance from a return on an order. And to make it easy, I sent her an email with all the order numbers and RMA and told her just to copy and paste the above info into an email to their sales department. Short story long, after a week she still hadn't sent it, and I went to her office where she admitted that she doesn't know to copy and paste. She said that she left her last job after she was asked to do stuff like that. She had worked there for almost 20 years. OMG, ask for help! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. She could have literally hand-typed in what was needed and still been done quickly. So recently I had a video on my phone that I was trying to get on my computer. Instead of doing the smart things like emailing myself or plugging in my phone and dragging it over, I spent a week with different apps trying to send it, like Google Drive, sending it by Bluetooth, even Dropbox. None of those worked cause the file was too big. I eventually just took a video of my phone with my laptop. Wouldn't uploading it as an unlisted video to YouTube even be easier? It was for a school project and the laptops didn't have access to YouTube. A friend of mine closes Ziploc bags by pinching the entire thing together. Does it every time. It's like watching a monkey. Company makes toothpaste. but has a problem shipping empty boxes of toothpaste. They add a computer to the conveyor belt to weigh each box to be sure a tube of toothpaste is inside. They hire an employee to watch the machine and pull the empty boxes off of the line. A month goes by and the machine hasn't caught any empty tubes. Yet they haven't shipped any empty tubes either. Management goes down to the line to see what's up. There is the employee, reading a book. A fan is pointed at the belt, knocking any light tubes off into a trash can. They kept the fan, fired the employee. I don't get companies that fire someone like that. They're obviously creative. Put them somewhere else. This is a story old as time. Doubt anyone was actually fired in the original. Maximize profit quarterly. Nothing else matters. Welcome to America. The kid in math books which doesn't know how much money left. His thought process was weird. To be fair, that kid was always purchasing large quantities of livestock, food or misc items that serve no realistic purpose. You can't possibly wonder why he never seemed to know what the hell was happening. Where was this guy going? Why with these outrageous quantities of non-essential items? His life is a giant confusion. Have some empathy and just give him the damn answer. Maybe he was drugged and just obeying someone else's orders, and they were telling him to buy weird stuff that would hide their other suspicious purchases. This is a deep dive into the sinister underbelly of word problem children. Open browser. Google is default page. Write Google's link in Google search bar. Open link. Write Facebook in Google search bar. Open link. They know the link to Facebook, and have learned years ago, and actively use it, that after you visit the site, you'll only need to start writing Facebook in the top bar to get the link. Facebook is only an example. The same process is done for nearly every frequently used site. One of the people who had my job before me would match data in Excel workbooks by printing them out and highlighting matches, then typing it back into another workbook. This hurts my soul. My uncle pulled his back out putting balls back in the bucket at our batting practice one day. Instead of just letting us kids do it, he invented a ball picker-upper out of PVC pipe and clasps. Real modern-day MacGyver. One time when I was like 6, I had some middle schoolers come into my class to help us do arts and crafts or something. I needed to glue something, so I rolled up a piece of paper into a cone with a little gap at the bottom, and then poured the Elmer's bottle of glue into it. My excuse? Because I could control it better. What the fuck does that even mean? The best part is the fact that the kid, who I saw is practically an adult for some reason, was like asterisk, oh yeah, that's pretty smart asterisk. This kid was just as slow as I was LMFAO. You pretty much made a piping bag. But what impresses me is that he made a piping bag without knowing he made one. At 6 he was able to grasp the concept of tools and how they can make life easier. Worked at construction, so, literally every day, any task. Last resort, smash it in a rubber mallet. Here's my boss, who's been in construction over 40 years. Building a wall. 1. Shows up to job with track and metal studs. 2. Back to Home Depot because he forgot screws. 3. Frames wall. Back to Home Depot for drywall. 4. Unloads drywall. Back to Home Depot because he forgot to drywall screws. On it goes. I once told him 2 things. 1. Get a damned piece of paper and a pencil and make a list before heading to Home Depot. And 2. Don't go to Home Depot during the workday unless that's where you're working. He hasn't changed a lick in 14 years. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.